Well, hello there. Welcome back to dezandfoxplay. It's just that these kinds of stories are the kind that Yuri likes.
And we're just jumping right into it.
Yeah, hey, this is Dez. I'm just going to say right off the bat, Team Yuri.
That's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
I think
Fox
we're both in agreement.
Team Monica.
Not Team Sayori.
Not Team Sayori or Natsuki.
Or Natsuki.
Right.
Mainly because the voice we gave her.
The voices we gave both of them.
We gave her a voice that's bad, so we don't like her. But also, she reads manga, and if you read manga, you're a bad person.
That's not... Oh, I will cut you right now.
You know I'm joking, right?
I will cut you. You have massive Usagi Yojimbo.
I have the entire series of Usagi Yojimbo, which has been going on for decades.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. Okay.
It's just that those kind of stories. She just told us that she's into like real dark horror.
Right. She's a dark horror fan.
Okay.
I said that clearly, right?
They challenge you to look at life from strange new perspectives. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants it to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they've made out to be naive for letting one of their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans.
Getting real specific here.
I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. It's low standards right there. I'm still kind of interested in what you're saying.
I heard most of your words.
Who are you?
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's literature club after all. Got it there.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
You don't have to.
What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. That is, Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry. I was just...
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Well, here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold up my book more between the two of them.
That would be the worst.
Yeah. In a dating simulator.
I guess that's true.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I would hate somebody who did that.
Yes. Like, no, I am not going to read this book with you.
Get out of my face.
We each have our own book, and so you can get the F over in your own desk.
I am uncomfortable. You're invading my personal space.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy.
And throws it at me.
Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Ooh! It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book up. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Whoa, whole new perspective.
Whoa!
Crazy. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and oh man, this is a lot of
So
scene
you're holding the
direction
book
here.
together.
Oh, snap. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But I'm holding it like this. We're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
Huh?
To turn the page. I knew she was going to say that.
Nice.
Because that would be the problem when you're trying to read the book together.
Yeah, you would constantly have to ask. Sorry. I think I got a little distracted for a second.
Can't imagine why.
I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right?
Hey, I'm an idiot.
I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer, moron. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finished the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
You think so? How does she?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong.
Also, she's stupid and ugly.
She's stupid and ugly, and I hate her, so it's not like I can see into your head or anything.
But I see your face.
Was that a question? What did she think? But they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms.
I see.
You remained silent for a little.
But Slingbow, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her.
I'm offended to my core.
That's so embarrassing that you think that.
Wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really don't know what you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more mean that it's kind of cute.
Oh.
What?
What are you saying all of a sudden, Okay, everyone.
Oh, Monica.
Time to step in here.
Moment killer.
To interrupt this moment, you two look like you're getting a little bit cozy over here. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each
I'm
other.
excited for my poem.
We might not have enough time if we wait too long.
Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read with you?
I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. I mean, if you want to read it together, I suppose that's fine.
In that case, I'll read a little more
How
tonight.
dare you!
Rejected! It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters on your own time. Jerk. I'll read this book by myself.
I'm a strong, independent literature fan. I don't need no man holding my book up for me. I stand up. I make mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yeah, it's gonna be your favorite poem you've ever read. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration, since I've really never done this before.
Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't we find someone to share with? I can't wait!
Oh, she's here. I forgot about her. Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I left. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Monica, for sure.
Alright,
that's who I wrote it for.
Yeah, that's who you wrote it for.
I should start with Monica. Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort.
Even though you just had this moment with Yuri.
And I literally just kind of randomly chose
Why,
words.
hello, Slingbo. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring that thing up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. It's much better off just going with the flow and getting until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Slingbo. We're all a little bit embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
I want to see the poem.
Yeah.
Great job, Slingbo. I was going... oh, in my head while reading it.
Okay.
It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
Yeah, well, that's a jerk thing to say.
I guess I didn't expect you to have this type of vocabulary.
I assumed you were an idiot. That's my bad. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. I really do connect with this guy. Slingbo is me. That way I always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness.
Because she's dumb.
Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuance. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. Never really asked though.
I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet.
Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things.
I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this.
That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything.
More laughter.
That was you. That was your laughter. There, thank you.
There you go.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now?
Yes. Do I actually get to read it?
Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by something. I see. Well, let's read it then. Oh, there we go.
Read it, Slingbo.
Hole in wall. It couldn't have been we. See...
Me! It couldn't have been me!
I can't read it from here. Are you sure it's me?
It couldn't have been me.
Couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? A nosy neighbor?
A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend?
Yeah, just
I'll
read
never
it.
know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I read blind. Like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas. Already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in.
Okay. A little interesting.
So, what do you think?
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay, jerk. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines.
I think that's
When
just
performed out
poetry.
loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I've got a hole in my wall. I'm not sure how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yes, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about the deep stuff because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later.
That's good advice.
Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same point for too long, you'll get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hands and get on with the flow.
What kind of pens are they using?
That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Monica out.
Oh, okay,
Alright.
I gotta share it with somebody else next. Apparently Yuri might like this poem, and we had that whole, connection thing before.
So let's do her next.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't...
Go ahead.
These people can go jump off a bridge. Let's talk to Yuri.
Alright.
Yo, what up, girl? As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
Oh, snap. Huh? What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
That's me.
That was you covering your face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Huh? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So... what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, and then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through all that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you a valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Oh,
Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be... Hang on. I'm going to get a little bit closer
Yeah,
here.
dear lord. This full screen thing is just garbage.
I got it. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlights have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. That was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, actually.
Hey, good job, Yuri. You're really good.
That was pretty... I like that. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting.
Yeah, that's okay, but get better.
I
What?
mean, if you could just type it out next time.
Yeah, we have computers. Well, this is 2018. I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Wow, it's like it knows what's happening. Well, I just don't read script very often.
You could say I was taking in the narrative.
Right, yeah, I want to read it slowly. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Hoo-hoo.
What does that sound?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Slingbo. No, it's about the march of time forward and how, like, things with more feeling seem to be going up. Whatever, Fox.
Really?
Is that not what you got out of it?
No, that was what my character, Slingbo, said. I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose...
No.
Oh,
Well, I
I'm
suppose... See, that's strike 2 for you, you monster!
sorry. Against your 17.
Nope!
Oh, okay.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive, too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Well, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I've enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Slingbo.
Me too.
And you alone, Slingbo.
Alright, we're gonna end it there.
Yep. Don't you ever betray me, Slingbo. I'll kill you in your sleep.
I am you and you are me now.
We are one, Slingbo.
This is yep, okay, so this is still just,
awesome.
pretty straightforward.
It's wonderful and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3, Fox
nobody
still
likes-
has not discovered anything.
I have not.
We'll see you guys next time.
Am I missing something?
Bye, bye,
All right.
everybody.
Well, yeah, bye, guys.
I
See you
love
next time.